Welcome back, everybody. James Bellini here. We have Jamal Schumpert with us. He is running for City Council, SMD4. Mr. Schumpert, how are you doing today?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good.
All right. Just kind of talk about yourself real fast. You said you weren't born in San Angelo, but you've been here for a while. You went to ASU. Kind of just talk about yourself for a second.
Oh yeah. So I came to San Angelo with my younger brother who played football for Angelo State University.
Okay.
We came in 2010, and from 2010 to about 2017, I was in and out of school. I bounced around a lot of different jobs. I kind of understand how the wages are low, and some of the jobs aren't the best you want to take here. But it's opportunity here. That's the very least I can say. There wasn't much opportunity where I was from, so that's the kind of big difference is why I stayed here.
All right, does that kind of excite you about running for city council, that you might have an opportunity to bring in and attract some businesses to San Angelo?
Oh yes, it's very exciting. Yes, this is a very exciting time for San Angelo because we have the opportunity to go forward so much more than we have in the past, or we could stay the same. It's really our choice, really the people's choice. But yes, it is an exciting time for electrics in San Angelo, for road construction, for home construction, and believe it or not, what President Trump did may be controversial, but 20 years down the road, when we have all the manufacturers here, we could come back and do this again.
You're talking about the tariffs and everything.
Yeah. I know right now it's a little bumpy or whatnot, but if
Right.
you listen to economists, certified teach economy.
All right.
First 5 years, first 10 years, extremely hard doing it this way. But 20, 30 years down the road, we're no longer asking anybody for any more products, and we're the supreme manufacturers. So, it kind of works out, just not right now.
I know Terry McKessica went up there for the inauguration. I said, hey, man, throw San Angelo some love to Elon Musk. Tell him to build a Tesla factory here, which would be awesome, but it was more of just a jokey thing.
Well, honestly, we're right on that pathway with the I-27 corridor.
I was about to bring up the interstates.
Yeah, to come out of I-35. So he has his headquarters in Austin. What we need to do is get our people more interested in mechatronics, mechanical engineering, and things like that. Because we'll be having to work on his robots. That's some of the products he makes. As far as the other products he makes is like chips. That's up in Abilene. We might can get some of that money, $500 billion. You sure we can't get a $1 billion chip factory down here or something? But yeah, there is quite a bit of money between us, from Austin to Abilene, or Austin all the way up to Canada, Mexico to Canada. We're in that trade route, so that is extremely exciting for us. And then we don't have to change our culture for that. All we have to do is just change educational and training programs.
Education, that kind of brings up the bond for SAISD, and we had to talk with Jerry Jenkins earlier. He talked about how it's all intertwined, all working together. You pass the bond for SAISD, that helps improve the teaching of the students. ASU benefits from that because they get better taught students. Or I'm not saying they're not well taught now, but you could advance things, and then you get better businesses coming to San Angelo. Those people stay in San Angelo and they retain in San Angelo, and that just helps San Angelo grow even more because those businesses are coming to San Angelo.
Yeah. Like you said, the better the school, the quality of the education of the people, the better people want to look at it. And I was educated at San Angelo by Angelo State University, so I think I like to call myself a good product of San Angelo education.
Right.
Even though I have education everywhere, here is where I really grew to be a man and really understood what education can do for you in life.
Right now, we've had ASU on every week for a while now, and after talking with them, ASU is really a top-notch school.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, if you grew up here, you think, oh, ASU, it's a D2, it's a small San Angelo school, but it really is a fantastic university.
Oh yeah, I'll debate anybody over that. Harvard, Princeton, any of those Ivy Leagues, Columbia, Dartmouth, any day I'll debate them with my D2 education and beat them. I promise you I could.
All right. Say you get elected to city council. What does your first 90 days look like?
Oh, my first 90 days, it'll be a lot of sitting and, I guess, watching the budgets and making sure that the money is going to places it's supposed to be. So we'll have the enterprise workshop. We'll have other budget workshops we have to go over. A lot of grindy, boring business, basically. But to me, it's exciting. I get to see the numbers. I get to see who spends this, who spends that, and I get to tell the people that, most of all. So I'll be prepared to be able to tell you who's spending money here, who's spending money there. Is this a waste of money or is this a waste of money? I'll be that type of city council member to be able to tell you, hey, I don't think this is a good idea. What do you think about it?
All right. That kind of brings up a little bit of transparency. It seems like you want to be more transparent. Anything you're feeding money into, tax dollars, you want to know where that money's going. Is that something that you see needs to change city council? They need to be more transparent?
Yeah, I think they need to be more transparent, but sometimes that transparency, I think it's a gap. Maybe they don't know which questions to ask, because everybody on city council has their certain skill that they was best at in life. If they were all best at every skill, then they would ask the right questions all the time, and then those directors would be put on the spot to say, hey, this money is for this. Sometimes it's a good reason. I'm not gonna lie. I've asked the questions, and sometimes they come back like, "Hey, that's a good way to spend money," but sometimes it's been highly questionable. Like, we spent $30,000 on a pipe and loop system for a bank. We gave it to them. They just asked for it, and we gave it to them. At that same meeting, it enforced the removal of someone on their lands at the lake. So we own the lake land, but they owned the home. And they hadn't paid, I think it was $6,000 or $7,000 in a year or two, and we evicted them. So that's not to say that the $30,000 was wrong, but what about the $7,000 that we kicked somebody out of their house for? We just gave 30 on one hand, and then we just, 7 enforcement. So that's the type of things that kind of bother me, and people don't really.
That bothers me too, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
just hearing about that does kind of, you couldn't give them a break over.
Yeah, it's a $7,000 break.
I know it's $7,000, but you can make payments or something. You make an arrangement for that. $30,000 is a little bit more difficult to make an arrangement for, type of thing. Yeah, and I know that they gave it to them, but
yeah, they just gave it to the bank, but it leads into a bigger problem. Why are we forcing people at the lake out of their homes? Like, this has been a thing that's happened over the last year. Is because we put a lot of money into the lake, but that's not transparent. You're not telling people at the lake, hey, we're going to put all this money in here, we're going to enforce this, and we're going to end up kicking you out. If you told them that, they would have probably told you they didn't want two case pipes down at Lake Nasworthy. So it's a lot of history that has to be retaught to the new generations in San Angelo. We didn't really know about that. We'd have to look it up and read it, and that's what I did.
All right. I will say the city council meetings are public. You can go to them. They're online, so you can go ask questions if you are that spurred on about something to go up there and talk to your city council people about. Yeah. All right, Mr. Schumpert, I'm going to hand it over to you. Is there anything that you wanted to bring up, maybe that we didn't discuss?
I really don't want to bring up anything, but I do want to say this. It's a kind of a quote I live by, and I've learned it out here. How you treat the least of thee is how you'll treat me. And I learned that going to church out here, and I'll just like to leave everybody with that. That's it.
All right. So May 3rd, election comes around. Vote for Jamal Schumpert, SMD4. Mr. Schumpert, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.